Hello and welcome back to International Yankee English. I post weekly videos on different English topics every single week on Monday, and I also have a very active support group on Facebook, so please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to be notified of my new videos each week, hit the bell, and also join us on Facebook so you can keep learning and improving your English on a regular basis. Today's topic is about Martin Luther King Jr. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we are going to learn 10 words or phrases related to him and his life and his legacy. Let's go! So before we begin learning the words, let's just do a quick recap. What is Martin Luther King Jr. Day? It is a day that celebrates the birth of the civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. It is observed, meaning it is celebrated or remembered, on the third Monday of every January in the United States. It is in fact a federal holiday. So today we're going to look at 10 words or phrases that are related to him and his legacy as a civil rights activist. Word number 1 is advocate. The Cambridge Dictionary Online lists this as a C2 level word on the Common European Framework. So what does it mean to advocate? Well, this can be either used as a verb, that you advocate for something, or it could be a person, a noun, that is an advocate. So if I use it as a verb, I would say, I advocate for equal rights. That means that you are trying to help spread the idea that all people should be equal. You are advocating for that. But you as a person are an advocate for equal rights. So to advocate basically is to publicly support and show or suggest an idea or development or policy that you are putting your full support behind. Okay, word number 2, I did not see a level listed in the Cambridge Dictionary next to this word. I would estimate it is a B2 or C1 level word, and that is the word assassinate. To assassinate somebody is to kill them, and normally there is either some kind of plot or plan or master plan behind the actual act of killing the person. And this is often a plot to kill somebody who is famous or holding public office, such as a president. So the verb is to assassinate, and the actual act of killing the person is an assassination. And in some instances, people are either paid to kill somebody, and then they would be an assassin. They may do that even for a living, or do it more than just as a one-off, more than just one time. Or it could be that there needs to be some kind of quid pro quo. If you don't know what that means, let me know in the comments, and maybe you want to check out some of my Latin terms in English videos. But basically it is about something, there's a reason that you kill somebody, and whether it is that you are getting paid to do it, or you are being blackmailed, or it is part of a bigger plot or scheme to take somebody out of power, there is always a bigger reason for it, and usually the person who is being assassinated is somebody who has a lot of power or who is famous. Martin Luther King Jr. was himself assassinated on April 4th, 1968. May he rest in peace. The next word is a C1 level word, and that is the word discrimination. When you discriminate, or there is an act of discrimination, that means that somebody is treated unfairly or unequally, or a group of people are treated unfairly or unequally. This could be based on many different things. There are many different kinds of discrimination. There's racial discrimination, which is something that Martin Luther King Jr., as an African American himself, fought against and tried to put an end to with the civil rights movement. So that is basically discriminating against somebody based on the color of their skin. There is also gender discrimination, so maybe you discriminate against somebody for being a female or for being a male. You could discriminate against somebody for their sexual preference, whether they are gay or straight or lesbian or bisexual or asexual or whatever their sexual preference is. There are many different kinds of forms of discrimination, and that is basically treating somebody unequally or unfairly for a reason that is not just. It is not an acceptable reason to do so. Okay, word number 4 is equality. There was no level written next to this word in the Cambridge Dictionary. I would estimate it at a B2 level. Equality is basically the idea that two different people are equal. As long as you are a human being, you are equal to every other human being on earth. Word number 5 is listed as a C2 level word in the Cambridge Dictionary, and that is intolerance. So you have tolerance and intolerance, and when you have tolerance, or you are tolerating something or someone, that means that you accept it, you're open-minded, and you welcome it. But when you are intolerant, or there is an act of intolerance, that means you are not accepting and you do not tolerate those people or that group or that person, and you are not loving, you're not accepting, and you are not giving equal rights to people of different groups. Common forms of intolerance are racial intolerance or religious intolerance, so you don't accept people who have different views or different backgrounds or different ethnic DNA than you have. And then just to add to that, intolerance generally is about beliefs and behaviors and people and ideas, but it can also be used when you talk about different nutritional things, items, so food and drink. You could have, for example, lactose intolerance, meaning the lactation or the lactate in milk. Maybe your stomach can't handle it, so then you are lactose intolerant in that case. So that is another use of that word, and it kind of mirrors the more commonly used use of the word that relates to MLK Jr. Okay, word number 6 is Jim Crow, or the Jim Crow laws. I don't have a level for this. I would say it probably is more of a C1, C2 level. Basically, these were laws in the United States at that time of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. There were laws or treaties that were used in the US in order to treat Black people unfairly. The African Americans were treated unfairly as a result of these Jim Crow laws that were in place in the United States at that time. Okay, word number 7 is listed as a C1 word, and that is opposition. Opposition is basically strong disagreement, or kind of the other side, the other view of an issue than what you have as your own view. I'm going to read out a couple of example sentences to better highlight the meaning of this word. There is a lot of opposition to the proposed changes. So let's say there is a law that is being voted on, and some different people amended it, meaning they changed it and wanted to make some changes. Then you vote on it to see if the changes should take place or not. If there is a lot of opposition, that means there are many people who are against the changes and they don't approve of it. And one more example sentence. The unions are in opposition to the government over the issue of increasing the minimum wage. Okay, so that they oppose the increase of the minimum wage, meaning they don't think that the minimum wage, so the lowest amount you're allowed to be paid, they think, no, it shouldn't go higher. We oppose it. There is opposition to the increase. Word number 8, I didn't see an actual official level for this on Cambridge, so I would estimate it is probably a C1 level word, and that is the word pacifism. Pacifism is basically being against war or violence. Martin Luther King Jr. himself was somewhat of a pacifist. Okay, word number 9 is more of a phrase, and that is police brutality. The word police, that is a pretty simple word. I would guess maybe A2, but the word brutality is C1. It is quite a difficult word, and the idea of the police being the ones that cause brutality is what makes this a difficult phrase, police brutality. And the way that it relates to MLK Jr. is the fact that certain police officers have been known throughout history in the United States to be more brutal, so a bit more violent or aggressive to people of color, so Black people or African Americans. I'm going to read out now the dictionary definition. It is behavior that is very cruel or violent and showing no feelings for others, or an act of this type. That is the definition for brutality. And so when you put police before it, it is when police officers are doing acts of brutality while they are serving as policemen. Okay, our last word for the day is word number 10, and that is segregation, and that is listed as a C2 word. I'm going to first read out the dictionary definition, and then I will elaborate a bit more on it. It is the policy of keeping one group of people apart from another and treating them differently, especially because of race, sex, or religion. Now, in the United States, there was, for many years, there were schools that were for African American people and for white people or Caucasian, so that you went to a certain school, or you used a certain drinking fountain, a water fountain, or you took a certain place where you were allowed to sit on a bus. You would go to different places or get different service based on the color of your skin, and that was racial segregation. You also have segregated schools, so boys maybe go to this side, or it's an only boys school, girls on this side, only girls school. So it's basically keeping different people apart based on maybe their race or on their gender, etc. So that is the act of segregation, and I'm going to read 2 example sentences for you. Sentence number 1, the system of racial segregation that used to exist in South Africa was called apartheid. And the community fought to end segregation in schools and housing. That was it for today. Those are the 10 words or phrases. I would be interested in knowing in the comments which words or phrases are new for you. Also, I have included in my vocabulary unit in my Facebook group a quiz on these 10 words, so you can check your knowledge there. And I have also written out a short article on this topic covering the words that we learned in this video today. So if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment to let me know that you enjoyed this video, and please continue watching our videos here at International Yankee English, and check out our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our Facebook group. You can learn more about free conversation classes, as well as upcoming opportunities to join some other lessons or classes that we have. We have a business English class coming up in February, and I hope to see some of you there in that course. Take care and enjoy your holiday, MLK Junior Day, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye!